and I was asked by Brian Schaefer if I would moderate this panel for no other reason than I think perhaps I was sitting closest to the stage. We have a remarkable group of speakers for you this morning, and the subject is emerging markets, China, India, and Russia. And I think from the share of news that countries alone have in the world financial press, we expect this will be a wonderful and lively panel. So let me begin by introducing our panelists, and then I'm going to ask each of them in turn to take about a minute and to introduce themselves to you in terms of their particular area of focus and their company. So closest to me on the podium, Dilip Barrow. Dilip is CEO with Creative InfoCity. Yes, I should have known that. We've been working together for a while. Next to Dilip is Anna, what is your last name? Han. Forgive me. Anna Han with White & Case. Next to Anna is Mark Fidelman with Wire Fund Management. Next to Anna, we have Charles Deportes with Redwood. And at the end of the stage, Parth Gandhi with Navigator Capital Advisors. So Parth, let's just start with you. Would you mind just giving a brief introduction, your area of focus, and why you think that's the best way to invest?
Sure, I'm going to keep this short. My name is Parth Gandhi. I'm with Navigator Capital. We're essentially an advisory firm to a hedge fund out of New York. We run a slew of funds from New York. It's private equity as well as hedge, as well as a distressed fund and some mezzanine debt funds. On the India side, most of our investments have been private equity focused. We do have some secondary exposure into India, but that's not in the infrastructure side, not in the real estate side, so I'll skip that one. In India, the investments we have, and I'll span everything from a company that makes jewelry to a company that makes electric cars, to a company that invests in ports, highways, and I'll focus on that. We also have exposure into a company that actually makes hydrogen, and it's part of the infrastructure side. My focus is, I'm the managing director, I run the India presence for us. The way we like to operate is we actually go ahead and do investments into SPVs in India, which are focused on development, which are focused on exposure into the infrastructure side. We have about $1 billion for an infrastructure fund in India right now.
Thank you, Parth. Charles Deportes. Charles, I've known for a couple of years. You're now president of the Redwood Group. What does Redwood Group do?
That's a good question. I ask myself that pretty much every day. I think I tried to break it down this morning, getting out of bed before a conference call. We are a funds manager, developer, and sometimes investor in Europe and Asia, primarily emerging and sometimes what we would affectionately call opaque or stressed markets. In particular, Japan, Korea, Russia, India. I think for purposes of this panel, because we have a great Indian representation already, I'll be Mr. Russia, wear that hat for a bit. And a product focus, we are primarily distribution and office, that's prime distribution and CBD office, mostly development, though we do some value add and repositioning of assets if we like the location that they're in. We currently have a pipeline of about $6 billion US in those scary markets, which have institutional investors nervous. We have about 100 guys that are in Moscow, Seoul, Tokyo, Osaka, Mumbai, and in our funds management offices, which are in London, Luxembourg, and Sydney. And supposedly we're a safe pair of hands for some big institutional investors, which include several hundreds of million under management for Deutsche Bank, for AIG, for Middle Eastern sovereign investors, of which there are several. In Russia, and I guess since I'll be focusing on that, we are, I think still today, the #1 developer of Class A distribution in the Moscow market by several metrics, certainly by product under development, where we have about 12 million square feet that's stabilized or under development, where we have the land and we're in final processes of permitting. Obviously, those 12 million square feet are not all in the same building. And I look forward to questions and always appreciate the invitation from Brian to speak.
Charles, thank you. Mark, you also focus on India?
Yeah, that's right. Mark Fidelman with the Wire Group. We've got a $400 million fund. We're investing in office, residential, and now looking at hospitality in India. Our primary focus are Tier 1 cities. So if you've got any questions about Tier 1 cities and real estate in India, I'll be happy to answer those for you. We are both a developer and a fund. We decided to be a developer as well due to the, at the time, the lack of quality we saw in the India domestic developers. So I can also share with you my perspectives on being a developer as well as a fund investing in India today.
Mark, thank you. Anna Hahn with White & Case.
Thank you. My name's Anna Hahn. I'm with White & Case. I'm a lawyer. I'm not a developer or a fund manager. My area of specialization is focused on China. For about 25 years, I've represented multinationals going into China. It ranges across the board. It isn't just strictly real estate, tech companies as well. But on the real estate side, we've represented a lot of companies in developing commercial, residential, resort, high-end hotel, all types of projects. And currently, we're doing some projects in the retail market. So I am here to sort of give you some background on what it's like to do business in China.
Anna, thank you. And last, Dilip, India as well.
My name is Dilip Barot. I'm with Creative Choice Group. We are an investment development firm. We mainly invest our own money in India and US and develop our own project. We only go for a specific niche project where we believe that we can create valuation based upon the realistic assumptions and not necessarily a too bold, very optimistic assumptions. We moved to business in India in 1999 when probably nobody was thinking about India, and now, but not even Indian players were doing a large-scale project. We did first project, which was 10 million square feet. It's a city by itself, basically. And similar type of projects we are expanding in India. Again, we are investing our own money and developing for our own self.
Dilip, thank you. And just for the record, again, my name is Mark Carlin, and I manage an Asia fund that is focused primarily on China and Japan, but secondarily on India, Korea, and Singapore. So for purposes of this panel, I will also be alongside Anna as the China expert. So what we do have in our lineup today is Mark Carlin with respect to China, Anna Hahn with respect to China, Dilip Barot, Mark Fidelman, and Parth. Forgive me, I forget. Parth Gandhi with respect to India. And Charles, you'll be the lone advocate for Russia. So let me begin with a question to the panel.